angle is a little bit different. It's getting darker now in the UK, and I haven't really sorted out my lighting for my room, so you might see it a bit gloomy, a few reflections on the card. Again, I'm really sorry for that, but you don't really need to see the perfect card if you can hear me explain about it anyway. Hi guys, Freaky Fish here with another video for you today. I've literally just this second come back from locals. For my first proper real locals back, I played it Thursday at another locals, but for my first real one, I decided to play Shark because it is the best deck. It's my favourite deck. It's by far my main deck. If I was going to go to an event, I'd play it. And I went XO. I went 5-0 in Swiss, which meant I finished top Swiss in first place, which was great. It was the only XO in the room. Our locals does do 5 rounds of Swiss, then top 8, and they do like a knockout. I did unfortunately lose top 8. I was first place. I lost to 8th place in the top 8 playing Evil Twin, for reasons that you will see if you watch that match. But no, in Swiss, round 1 I played Amazement Trap Tricks. That's probably the only like rogue thing I actually played the whole day, and it was still relatively competent. Round 2 I beat Virtual World. I think it was 2-0 or 2-1, I think it was 2-0. Round 3 I beat Invoked Eldritch Dogmatica, that was 2-0. Round 4 I beat PK, that was a very funny match. If you go watch that feature match, you know why. Well done to Callum. It was a very close match, arguably shouldn't have won. There was some misplays, but it was still a really fun match. And then for round 5 I played Tribe Gade and won that quite comfortably. I don't know if it was 2-0, but it wasn't exactly stressful. So the deck can do stuff. The only meta deck I didn't play today was Drytron, but you've seen me play this deck against Drytron before, and it can do relatively well. You've seen me do this profile a few times. If you haven't already, go back and watch the early videos. I do a lot of combo explanation, so I'm going to kind of be a bit quicker for this one. I'm going to explain why I made certain changes and why I feel like this is the best current variant of the deck that I could play. Obviously, Crossout is now out at the moment. I personally don't have free Crossout, but it's technically legal. So if you do have Crossout, we can explain where and why to play Crossout, but in this build I'm not, because A, it's a lot of money, and B, it's just come out and I'm not going to drop £300 on a playset. If you've seen the pre-release sales, it is insanely expensive. When I go so onto the main deck, we're still playing the standard Shark ratio, 3 Lantern Shark followed up by 3 Buzzsaw Shark. If you don't know what these do, this summons from hand, this summons from deck, both lock you in decks with these, but they can be used for rank 5s or 3s or 4s. You never really make any rank 3s or 5s, just use them for rank 4s. They just spam out Toad, which is the aim of the game anyway. Next we're playing 3 Platoonful Princess because it's like the lone fire blossom for the deck. I've seen a lot of people playing 2 and 1 for 1. I really dislike 1 for 1 in this deck, so you've got to remember your combo won't be interrupted. Like if you just sit there and fishbowl with a combo and you let everything go off just fine, you've got to remember your opponent will have an Ash, and if they Ash your 1 for 1, you're down 2 cards. It's a 2 for 1 for them. They're going to Ash it. So I don't really like to play 1 for 1. I'd rather just play the third Platoonful. Best Extender, in my opinion, is 3 Sun Angler. The reason it's best extender we'll get onto later. If you draw water, special summon it. Can't special summon from the hand the rest of the turn, pretty standard. We are back on the Shifana. If you watch my last deck profile, funny enough, I'm actually really against this card. I'm like, this card's terrible. Back on Unexpected Die Engine. I've put it back in. The reason is that for this profile in particular, I wanted to completely streamline the deck as it is. So Unexpected Die has the problem of having a Garnet in obviously your unexpected target, so that'll be like a 7-colored fish or something. If you draw, it's not a problem because you can use it with Lantern Shark and things like that, but it sucks to banish off Desires, which is like a mainstay of this deck. So I took it out, so I didn't like lose anything to Desires. If I draw this, that's not a problem because I just special summon it and then special summon Angler or Ready Fusion. That gives me a free Toad. Whereas like these were the unexpected dies, and there was like a 7-colored fish here. I don't like that engine anymore, so I've taken it out. We are still playing 3 Exos Imora. My favourite thing about this card is still how many people don't know how busted it is. Even today, earlier, I was playing it and the guys next to me, because obviously if you're on table 1, round 5, XO against Tribe Brigade, people come and watch you. And I was like, Remora effect to summon 2 from grave, and everyone's just like, what? Yeah, it's like a soul charge. It gives you a free Toad on its own, or a free Dweller, whatever you're making. You just need to detach 2 from a Exos you control to summon it. That could be 2 fish and summon back 2 fish. Very good card, very broken. Not playing Generation Force to search it. A lot of people do play Generation Force to search this card. Again, I want to streamline this deck to the point where I don't want to play searches to search my good cards. I just want to have good cards and hand traps and war crime. This is the most war crime fish deck you ever see. And a lot of times people today are like, of course you have a hand trap and things like that. I'm like, yes. If I'm not making 3 Toad, my hand is full of hand traps. Either way, I have 6 negates. It doesn't matter what deck you're playing. Either way, I will stop you. and either way I will just have some sort of interruption. Like, the deck has two hands. You either like make a whole combo board of like triple Toad plus Utopic Draco, or like 2 or 3 hand traps, or you make 1 Toad with 4 hand traps. Either way, it's 5 negates. That's how the deck works. Speaking of hand traps, yes, we are committing a Geneva on this one. We're playing 3 Ash, 3 Droll, and 2 Veiler as our main deck hand traps in the main. So this is a pretty standard 8 hand traps. The reason we're playing Veiler is this was the 2 slots that were freed up from cutting to engines. So this was double or nothing, and this was the unexpected die target. So I took those 2 engines out, and it gave me 2 extra slots for some hand traps. And I would choose Veiler because it's good against a Tri Brigade matchup. It's relatively good against Troytron. It's good against like Invoke, Shoutout, Shenanigans. It's good against a lot of rogue stuff, and you can easily side it out if it doesn't really matter against your opponent. Also, it's not once per turn, so if you draw like 1 or 2, it's not really a massive problem. Droll's still amazing. Droll comes up in so many matchups: Virtual World, Drytron, again, Invoked, Eldritch, it just poos on all of those. Ash is the most generic. Unfortunately, at one point I did lose to Ref against the PK deck because I just didn't have Ash, so I still play Ash just to stop Dragoon hitting the board, because this deck can struggle to out Dragoon. Spellcards. We're playing 3 Desires. It's only good, just banish 10, draw 2. I've streamlined this deck, like I said, so I just don't care what I banish. I just banish 10, draw 2. I'm never going to hit any engine pieces, never really going to hit any garnets. I'm never going to banish all my fish, so I don't care about Buzzsaw. I'm not searching anything in the deck, so I don't care about like banishing an engine piece. I just want more cards, more hand traps, more extenders to make more rank 4s. 3 Ready Fusion, second best extender. The reason Angler's better is because it does have a life point cost for going into time, and we're playing 1 instant fusion, which is basically a 4 for Ready Fusion. It just summon level 4 from your extra deck, which is nuts. Do remember, guys, you have to use this before you use Lantern or Buzzsaw, because they will lock you in Technical Z's, and you can't use these after you've done those effects. Last spell, 1 Call by the Grave. It came up quite a lot. Obviously, Crossout is now in the format, so you can play Crossout. You could like cut the Veilers that I was playing earlier, and maybe cut like 1 of these Ready Fusion for every Crossout. I haven't tested fully with Crossout because, again, I've been on holiday. I will probably be picking up 3 or 2 at least. Maybe if I get like a good deal, or if I pull them, I might be getting a case, so I might probably potentially pull 1 or 2. But yes, the Crossout does make this deck a lot better, because you're playing so many hand traps. You can kind of like negate some of your opponent's hand traps and potentially hit some stuff like Desires. And maybe if your opponent's playing Ready Fusion, say if they're playing something like Bug Trooper, Bee Trooper, you can always hit those. But yeah, the 1 Corporate Grave did come in clutch a few times today. To add to our hand traps, we're also playing 3 Imperm and a trap lineup, so that puts us up to 11 hand traps, which is very war crime, and I love it. And then 3 Strike, again, to finish out our hand trap lineup. The reason is we're playing Strike is we're taking it from Tri Brigade's book. Are they going to deal with like my free Toad, or are they going to deal with my Strike and Imperm in the back row? This deck can do both. It can go Monkey, and it can go Combo. It's very war crime. If you think about it, we're playing 14 tech cards that can pretty much just destroy any deck we're playing against, with the hand traps, the Imperms, and the Solemn Strikes, and you can swap those out as you need to. Right, guys, it's that part of the video where I give a shout out to a personal channel that I personally watch. Once again, I've not been paid nor asked to do this. I want to make that very clear, that if I get asked or paid, I won't do it. I want this to come from the depth of my heart, and it's something that I just feel needs to be given back to these communities. So these are people that are out there in the community helping and giving good content, and sometimes they're not just getting the recognition they deserve. This shout once again for the 2nd time actually on my channel, because there's just something that needs to be said out loud. Mick Diddy Dags. I'm going to give him another shout out because, again, I've just been watching his streams. He's very, very funny, and he's great to watch. And he does play Sharks as well, which has obviously got to give him a bump. The other day when the tins dropped, he did a midnight tin case opening. He didn't get the best tin, so it needs to have some love for at least, you know, doing a case opening at midnight on as soon as he can, just to get his viewers some content for when they were eagerly waiting for that tin breakdown. He's a Twitch streamer, and he does have a small YouTube channel, but he's mostly active on Twitch. He does also have a Discord. Feel free to find the links below when I get around to eventually posting them, or just badger me in the comments until I give him a proper link. But yeah, go show your love to Mick Diggy Dags. Definitely needs some help on the Twitch scene. Give him some more viewers. It's very nice to see him. He plays locals every week, so remote duel locals. If you're into those, go watch those. And also he does like other content and stuff on Twitch. So yeah, go give him some love. Go give him a shout out, and go watch his channel. For the extra deck, it's pretty simple. We have one goal in mind, and that's to summon as many Bahamut, Sharks, and Toads as we can in a turn. So we're playing 3 Bahamut, Shark, 3 Toad. I've seen a lot of people playing 2 Toad. I still like to play 3 because triple Toad is so spicy. It does take a bottle of room on the board, but it's 3 Omni Negates and, again, 3+1. So if you don't know, Toad, when it steals something and it goes to grave, you get add back a water. So if you think about card advantage, Toad replaces itself with your opponent's card, and it adds back a water from your grave, so you're going +1, which is very important. This deck does need 2 Zeus to work. You can play 1 Zeus, you can get away with it, but 2 Zeus is mandatory to play this deck competitively. And now with the reprint, this deck is a lot more accessible. This deck is super cheap to play. Apart from like the Toads and the staples, Toad, like, I think is very cheap actually. It's got the gold rare reprint. But Hammer Shot's got 3 printings. Those are the only real expensive bits in deck. Everything else is pretty much a common now. Drolls are common, Veilers are common, Ashes are common, even like the hand traps are common. Maybe Imperm, although that's getting a super reprint, but again, you don't need to play that. This deck is very cheap to play. Next one, we're playing 1 Utopic Future, followed up by 1 Utopic Draco Future. Don't need to play this. This is just my extra negate, so this gives me 4 negates plus a mini towers sort of thing. Loads of decks can struggle to out this, which is great. Doesn't have to be this. This can be like 2 rank 4s if you want. 1 Vespernato is very important for your XYZ Remora play. Rank this on top of a Bahamut, detach a Bahamut and a lost material to summon Remora and summon 2 fish from grave. Very simple. New tech choice, shout out to the boys in the fish chat group. We're playing a zoo, we're playing 1 Shakanine and 1 Borbo. I've tested this week and it works incredibly well, actually, going second. So very big shout out to Andy for that suggestion. If you're going second and your opponent's made a board, you can special summon a Tenyi and you can special summon an Angler with no activate effects. Make Shakanine, make Borbo, attack direct, make a 4 Material Zeus with no activate effects. Came up very clutch today a few times, which is very important, and it can come out of nowhere. And 4 Material Zeus of 2 cards is nothing to be ashamed of. So yeah, that's a good tech choice. Thank you very much. Last 2 cards, 2 Rare Fish, and we're playing 2 just because we need to play 2 for things like Instant Fusion and Ready Fusion. And in the grind game, you might have 2 Ready Fusion in your hand. You want to be able to use one the next turn. In certain matchups, I do side one of these out for a Abyss Dweller, so do bear that in mind. Running us onto the extra deck now. So we are obviously, like I just said, siding 1 Dweller. This does come in some matchups, so against like Tri Brigade and Drytron, and again PK, which is something I played against today. You can side this in and it's very good. I won't lie, the rules about side decking extra monster cards is very annoying with the side, because they have to be in the same sleeve as the main deck. But if you're double sleeving like me, that means you have to unsleeve 4 sleeves, to swap them over, which can be a very lengthy process. So Konami should probably look into changing that around with the new side decking, so with the new extra sleeving rules. So maybe have a little look at that. Other side deck cards, we are playing 3 Evenly Matched. Came in very amazing today against the Amazement Trap Trick decks. Just if you're playing a trap deck, you have to play Judgment for this card, which is the annoying thing, and it hurts when you don't see it. So I feel as pain as a Paleo player when someone drops this on you. It can be very heartbreaking. But yeah, it's such a good card. If you don't have Storm, at least you should be playing Evenly Matched. 3 Dark Ruler No More as my board outers. Ideally, I actually want to play some Kaijus as well. I just can't find any room currently. Maybe if I got rid of the Dweller and a few other cards in my main, I can swap around some cards into main and play some Kaijus, because I just auto lose to a Dragoon at the moment. Unless I see this, or unless I can Zeus it, I just really struggle to out a Dragoon, which is the hard part. 2 Cosmic. The other thing I was thinking of is you could play these instead of 2 Veiler in main, because on Thursday when I tested this deck for a little bit, I lost horrifically to Rivalry, which I found very funny. This deck pretty much auto loses to Rivalry because there's no fish rank 4. There's literally no fish rank 4 in the game, which is annoying. You can make some rank 3s, but neither of them out Rivalry anyway. And I also lost to Mystic Mine in a Tri Brigade matchup on Thursday, so that's a little bit of a pain. So you might want to main these. I personally still side them because we're in such a combo-y, hand-trappy meta. You want to be playing as many hand traps as well. Freelancia for the occasional Tri Brigade and the Dino matchup came in very well today. It's a very good card. And then 3 Nibiru, because it's Nibiru and it's just, it gatekeeps many combo decks out of the meta scene at locals. If I was going into like actual regionals, I probably would change up the side and the main. I'd probably main the Cosmics just because you're going to see so many other tech choices that you're going to need some main deck removal for them. But as it is for my locals and my area around me, this is pretty much the best main and side that I've come up with. Anyway guys, that was my profile. Again, please feel free to like and drop any comments below, any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Don't forget as well, I am the head and admin of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fish Duelists Facebook page and on Facebook, so if you want to come and find some more fish players, please go check them out. Likewise, there is a shark Discord that I'm very active in that will drop again in the description below, so if you want to talk to some other shark players and maybe do a little bit of theorycraft, then feel free to give those links a little click. Anyway guys, that was a slightly ill Freaky Fish guy showcasing his XO50 Top of Swiss fish profile. Thank you very much and goodbye.